because we're going into it. It's our grand final of the Kung Fu Cup number 4. We start to the top right hand side of the map with our red Protoss player. Friends, this is Root Gaming's herO. And if you're herO's fan, then again, let's hear it in the chat. Let's hear if you're cheering on herO. Let's see if he's got the support of the chat behind him. As to the bottom left hand side, the blue Protoss player is Zest. Was a very popular player as well. And let's see if you guys are excited for some Zest in the chat as well. Gateway on the way down from both players on each side of the map to get things started. And of course, in PvP we expect this to be 2 gateways apiece for pretty much every single one of these games. Without an in-base expansion on any of these maps, there isn't really the opportunity to go 1 gate tech, 1 gate expand. It's just PvP, you know, that's how it works. 2 gates are the way to open without, you know, so that you can open without kind of, you know, dying off basically. It's kind of funny because it's the only matchup I would say where you can't reliably expand super early into the game anymore. You know, it's always been a bit of a weird one, but there was a while where PvP you really could just expand early when Photon Overcharge was a thing. But, you know, for the longest times now, it really has been you know, this matchup where, you know, you have to throw down 2 gates. And that obviously opens you up to options of a 3rd and a 4th gate versus a Nexus. It opens you up to options of like a fast Twilight Council and Blink, or maybe a fast Twilight into DTs. There's options, there's opportunities to play a different style here. So, we'll see how this goes once we get this set up and rolling. 2 gates about to finish up, and even the first units that come out here can start to tell us a little bit as to how these players are going to be setting on up. Zest is best, says Astomini and herO in the chat. A couple of Zest supporters already coming on in here. Well, are you guys upset about the PvP finals? I get it, guys. You don't like PvP. It's okay. We're going to cast some more PvZ and TvZ after this, I think. I think we are going to do some of those replays, at least, that I was talking about. Why not? Stretch out the stream a little bit longer, do a bit more content. Why on earth not, eh? I don't see a reason not to. Anyways, we are going to be setting up into this and looking to see what's going to happen. My mic faded out? Oh, is my mic quieter, guys? Did my mic just get quiet? That shouldn't have happened. Hopefully it's still okay. Let me know if it isn't. It might have just been that I was moving the mic slightly for some reason. Let me know if everything's okay, though, in the audio. And you do see this probe just going to be coming in towards the main base. A couple of sentries going to be able to shut that probe down, so probe does fall. As the probe goes down, a couple of stalkers of Zest out in the center of the map. Just a couple of stalkers moving around. 4 stalkers of herO is 4 stalkers of herO are coming out in towards the center. Pylon comes down from herO as well, and we will see the Nexus dropping on the 3rd base, it seems. I mean, that's what you're setting up for. A very fast free base, so that's interesting. Twilight Council finishes. Blink should be the kind of choice here, not really one of those matchups where you see a lot of charge or glaives even in the early stages. It is all about that Blink, because the Stalkers are very potent in the early stages. Pro pulls away from the 5th now. I mean, obviously it was really early to take a 3rd base, so it's kind of a bit questionable, but I mean, he built a pylon there, he had the probe there. It was a little bit strange. We are going to be seeing this shield battery just set up next to the Nexus, and we are just going to be seeing these few probes of Zest just nippling away on this natural mineral line. A few stalkers have come back home as well, and a couple more stalkers currently just warping in right here. So a couple more stalkers on the way out. We do see the Blink is coming up, and well, from Zest he chose the Robo rather than the Twilight Council, so that's his difference in kind of setup at the moment. So he will get Immortals to defend against the Blink, and he will go into a Forge a little bit faster as well. Look at that, a 3rd Nexus coming down on the right-hand side, so herO is still going to take the 3rd Nexus quickly, if not as quickly as it initially seemed like he would. And Zest, his vision, he's seen the Nexus on the way up, so Zest knows about that 3rd base. And well, he sees the Stalker count as well, so I guess we'll see just what Zest chooses to do in the face of this fast 3rd Nexus in the near future. What's up, Neurolytic, in the chat with the Cheer 300? Thank you so much for the bits. Hope you're having great days. Apparently just what I say every single time anyone donates cheers, supports, or whatever right now. Thank you so much for the cheer 300. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying the content. And thank you for the bits, do appreciate it. Do you see a Forge going to drop down here from herO, so Forge, Royal Facility going to be finishing up as well. And we do just see the lack of an upgrade from herO will be a little bit kind of visible in this game, I guess. It'll give Zest a couple of timing opportunities where he's going to be able to be the aggressor, I think, where he's going to have the +1 upgrade and herO will not. A few Stalkers currently coming through the center of the map. So herO coming through the middle. There's a gateway from Zest to the left-hand side. Just sort of sat there and waiting to go. Another Stalker on the bottom right is going to push that hallucinated Phoenix away. Again, some Stalkers, Sentries, the Immortal from Zest coming in, and well, again, herO just going to get pushed back, not really going to be able to do too much at all. Blinks down to the south side. I mean, he can blink up into the main here. 4 Stalkers, 1 shot a probe, so it's a decent number of Stalkers to have if he wants to harass, and he comes in and he finds 2 Stalkers, so he'll just take the fight straight up. But obviously it doesn't take long to send an Immortal into the main base, and that Immortal comes in. Actually targeting down the lower health Stalker right now is obviously a good start. Oh, he recalls, and this one Stalker will just blink out then, it seems, and he will get away. Oh, but the rest of the army's waiting for it, so Zest capitalizes and kills what he can. herO, I mean, just using that recall to basically try and get damage done. Yeah, in the end, he didn't really do much damage, but at the same time, it didn't cost him anything bar 1 Stalker, which didn't quite make it out, so obviously it cost him a bit of energy as well. His recall's now on cooldown, but if you just plan to sit back for the next couple of minutes, then why would you need that recall anyways? Well, you kind of don't really. There's not an immediate need for it. So, all good for the moment. As we see Zest, this hallucinated Phoenix, heading in towards the upper right side to see what's going on. Pops into the main base, sees the Temple Archives. Now going to pop back down through the natural, but we get intercepted here by the few Stalkers, and that Phoenix hallucination takes some damage. Look at this though from Zest. 8 more gateways currently on the way up. I mean, he's on 3 bases of his own, but 8 more gates, that's really a swell of gateways. That'll be 10 in total. How many is herO going up to? He's got 6 with 2 more, so he's going up to 8 overall. So that's really just looking to kind of whack up the kind of gateway production right now, so we'll see what he does with this. He still has the +2 attack upgrade lead. That earlier Forge that came down, what, 3-4 minutes ago now, still having an impact and still really kind of very noticeable. Obviously, Zest does not have the blink. He's also later on the charge, but being later on charge doesn't matter as long as he doesn't fight without charge in the first place. So these are all things which he's been disadvantaged for up until now, but which become less important for being later on later, unlike the +2. Because +2, or a Forge in general, it isn't just a one-time upgrade that you're ahead on, it's the second upgrade you're then ahead on. You're the third upgrade you're then ahead on as well. You just see the Union's going to start working their way through these rocks here. There's a few Stalkers from herO trying to counterattack. Obviously they have blink and they will start a micro backwards. herO actually has a supply lead for the moment. There's the +2 though from Zest, so he's definitely looking to try and make something happen with this. So I'll chase these few Stalkers down. He kills 1. herO's continuing to back away, but he's going to run into the rest of this army. It's goodbye to all 4 of those Stalkers. herO's composition is very Archon heavy, 5 against 2. He's equal on Immortals. Well, actually, it's a pretty even army on either side. Sentry count's the same. Archon count is really, again, the biggest difference, and herO adds 1 more of those already now. So going to be seeing a couple of Archons actually loading up and heading towards the main base, because that's where the Warp Prism is. Zest brought his Immortals into the main, so he's actually going to get a lot done here. The Immortals picking off a pylon so very quickly, and now the Zealot's obviously starting to get to work. He's a little bit choked up on the top side, though, and that is starting to hurt him quite a lot. The Zealot on the south side will lose out in the fight because of the Archons. And well, the Immortal here might actually still be able to get the Archon if he targets it. Oh, turn and fight! Okay, he does turn and get it. He only gets out with 1 Immortal though. He's a little bit afraid, especially because herO still has blink. Zest trying to push on the other side at the same time, but it hasn't worked out for him, and herO has a little bit too much right now. Continue to push this away. Oh, Zest has just suddenly lost everything. He warps in around his Zealots, but I mean, they're kind of just on their own here, and Immortal kind of comes in as well, but wow, herO just has way too much in Zest. This just fell apart for him so quickly, maybe trying to be a bit too fancy. The lack of Archon. What's up, Jode? Yeah, 73 in the chat says, "Hey, Wardy, love your stream." Thank you so much for loving my stream, man. Thanks for watching. I'm glad you're enjoying. What's up, Shifty1212 in the chat as well? How you doing today? Good to see you, mate. As to the bottom right-hand side, we do have the Red Protoss player who is now 1-0 up in this best-of-5 grand final. This is herO. Going up against the blue Protoss to the top left-hand side, Zest. So, I just want to give you guys a little bit of info about previous Kung Fu Cups which we've been seeing. Obviously, last week's won by Innovation. We were just talking about that a little while back. But, yeah, the last, there's actually been a bunch of cool results so far in the Kung Fu Cups. For example, what was I going to say? Yes, Stats won the first event, actually, against Patience in the finals. So that was a Protoss winning. Zest actually won the second event, which was a couple of weeks ago now. He won against a Laser in the finals. That was actually a very cool run by a Laser. I remember casting a Laser's games in that, and a Laser was doing very well up until the finals, playing really awesome, and then he just kind of got a little bit stomped by Zest, I think, in the rest of the games. But second time Zest has made a finals here, so he's the first actual two-time finalist, if I'm not mistaken. Last week's finalists, Impact and Innovation. It's actually the first time herO has reached the top 4, so cool to see. Obviously a good mixture of players moving around. A lot of Protoss dominance so far in this event. It's going to be the third time out of 4 events that Protoss has won it, so we've seen a lot of Protoss victories in online events lately, I feel. WardiTV weekly events and some other bits and pieces like that. Feels as though we've seen those quite a few times. Probe comes in over here, and herO's going to start nibbling against it. Zest takes just a little bit of damage. And we are going to be seeing that probe of Zest coming back around the other side. A couple of Stalkers and a Stalker Sentry currently on the way up. So, again, for the moment here, herO is continuing to get this going. We're going to be seeing a Sentry here from herO's going to be poking against that probe. A little bit of a nibble, as we are going to be seeing a couple of Stalkers into the probe of Zest. Just pushing herO's probe away. herO the first to expand, as it's going to be a little bit of a faster tech choice from Zest. He's going to go straight into the Stargate. Off of the 2 Stalkers, straight into 2 Adepts. I mean, you can just tell it's a faster tech build compared to herO. He throws all of his gas at the moment into Mass Sentry. Very defensive for the moment. Obviously, Sentry is not only with the force fields, but the ability to scout very nicely with the hallucinations. Means that there is, it's a very defensive setup still in general. 2 Stalkers against the Stalker Sentry, though, does go the way of the Stalkers, and they are going to push herO up the ramp for the moment, but 2 more Sentries. Can he fight this, actually? Maybe not. Shield Battery obviously changes things and means that, yes, you can fight this. 2 Stalkers will never out DPS a Shield Battery. As we are going to be seeing them still kind of poking around here, though, trying to do do whatever they can at the moment. 2 Adepts showing up as well, so it makes it a little bit more awkward to defend. 2 more Stalkers on the way out. And we are going to be seeing the targeting on the Sentries here. Initially, he runs up the ramp. We're seeing the Adepts do get in here, so herO kind of has to commit to defending. And while he has the faster Nexus, that doesn't matter so much if, of course, you lose too many probes right now. So, a few workers going down gives Zest a little bit of a lead and just makes up for him not having as fast of a Nexus. I love what he's been doing here as well, just poking his way through this Shield Battery. That's been very nicely done up until now as well. Twilight Council comes in on the right-hand side. And we do see the rover facility on the way up from Zest on the main. Oracle tries to dive on in, but doesn't find too much. I mean, the Shield Battery in general is so good against a single Oracle now. Does Zest make a second one? He did, and you kind of have to, because a single Shield Battery straight up just protects those probes from one Oracle, so you're just never really going to find value unless you really just catch your opponent off guard right away. So the second Oracle almost always makes sense lately. Hallucinated Phoenix here from herO keeps track of it though, so does kind of know where the plan is for this to come in, and the Stalker's in position. Wow, Zest is going to die? I don't know if I can really agree with that. I mean, he's actually going to end up doing damage, but it feels as though he's so fortunate, because if this one Oracle had just gone down, it's a little bit more. He grabs a feedback on it in the end. If that Oracle had just gone down, and it was so close to going down, boom, all of a sudden, you just lose a bunch of, well, you just lose the Oracle and you don't kill anything, right? So, that was a bit of a risky play from Zest. Did he really need to dive in and do damage? I don't think so. As it stands, though, I mean, it worked out. 37 probes against the 30. Zest still in an eco lead, comes into the natural, gets some damage done because there's no Shield Battery in the mineral line here. The Shield Battery is at the front instead. Forge is coming up on the side of the main base, and we are going to be seeing this Oracle still just moving around. A couple of Sentries, a couple of Stalkers just patrolling backwards and forwards. And we are going to be seeing the, well, a couple extra gates coming up in the main base. Again, Zest is going to be on the faster Forge, the faster +1, and hence, therefore, from there, the faster +2 as well. I wonder if Yeah, I wonder if... I wonder if that's going to make much of a difference, because it didn't really in the last game. It gave Zest a time, but herO was able to shut it down so well anyways. I guess we'll see how this goes. Just really have a moment or so as this Oracle comes in and gets feedback again. Just want to say thank you very much to UK Lad, who's just hit us up with a Twitch Prime sub. Love it when the UK lads come in to support the stream. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime and for joining the Wardy family. Thanks for subscribing. Temple Archives is on its way up right now from Zest. So Temple Archives coming through from Zest here. Another couple of warp gates finishing up in the main base. Twilight Council starts up a charge upgrade. And again, that forge just chrono boosting right now. Chrono boosting out a +2 weapons upgrade actually. So +2 being chrono boosted out, and we are going to be seeing this Oracle of Zest going to come back around the right hand side. Hallucinated Phoenix flies on over, but will get taken down again. Just hallucinating every now and then. I mean, the feedback's just kind of coming down as well, just to kind of shut down this Oracle. I mean, I guess why not? Eventually, you're going to morph these two High Temple into Archons anyways. You're not really you don't gain anything from morphing them in faster unless you're suddenly under attack. So it makes sense to keep the High Templars in High Temple form just to hit a feedback or two here and there. It probably has saved a couple of probes, and again, it hasn't really cost him anything. So we've seen this probe obviously is something that Zest wants to pick up, but the Stalkers coming in will protect the probe for now. It will live to make the third Nexus at the very least. And Zest will be doing the same in the next few moments. Again, Zest, +2 is so far along, over halfway done with +2. herO hasn't even got +1. Was I wrong? I thought herO had started a forge. Maybe I'm mistaken. Okay, well, herO looks as though he's just fully committed to a fight. Let's see if that's... well, let's see how that's going to go, as we do see a Prism going to come around the right-hand side. And Archon leads the charge forwards here at the moment. We do see the Prism into the main base, wants to try and drag some units out of position before anything else really happens here. Before he commits in with the rest of the army. That is giving some time for +2 attack to finish. If he could kill the Forge, that would actually be amazing. That would be such a worthwhile pick-off. Or even just the Pylon to stop +2 for the moment. Zest actually is going to push herO away over to the side. herO backs away quite happily there. He doesn't really mess around or anything. These elves continue to micro around. The choking up of the situation is definitely hurting a little bit. He'll warp in a few more units. +2 is going to finish now. And you're going to see those extra Zar warp-ins going a long way. Trying to get this Pylon, which would empower another couple of gates and stop further warp-ins. That just straight up makes herO's continued warp-ins a lot more difficult to deal with, because now 4 gates empowered. There's only 8 gates up, so that's half the production just now, turned off basically. Can't actually be used in the fights. As we are going to be seeing the Xylet just charges forwards, does a little bit of damage to that probe right there. So probe gets pushed back up to the top side. And we are going to be seeing these couple of Archons lifting back up into the Warp Prism once more. Another Twitch Prime sub coming into the chat. Zifnu, is that right? Hopefully it is. Thank you so much for using your Twitch Prime on the channel as well, buddy. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And welcome. Don't forget that if you join our Discord server, there's going to be a new replay pack for subscribers going out today. Make sure you get your hands on that. And enjoy them. Dark Shrine is about halfway done now from herO. Nexus is coming up to being about halfway done as well. Oracle to the left-hand side, as we do see the Warp Prism with 2 Archons inside of it, heading in towards the main base. So, 2 Archons going to head in towards the main, going to start going after a couple of these probes. And this is nice, actually. The probes are even stacking up a little bit. Obviously, they're trying to run away, but they stack up quite naturally when that happens. herO has a third base as well, by the way, but he's still fighting with an upgrade disadvantage. He recalls out of here. He'll lose an Archon and Stalker. He still has the Archons in the main base, but for how much longer? Because now it's Warp Prism Archon versus Warp Prism Archon. Some more damage dealt. Zest is down to 25 probes. He's only on 2 bases. He has no third. herO has all of the kind of macro advantages in terms of economy. Third base is up. He's got 45 probes. But Zest has the +2 attack upgrade, and that attack upgrade and the current standing army might just be enough to break on through. Especially because 2 Archons of herO just sat over here not doing anything. I think I guess there's an Archon of herO, but of Zest as well, but I think these 2 Archons are really just in a very useless position right now. I think herO has to give up third base, defend on the natural, where he does have a lot of shield batteries coming up that he can utilize in his defense. And he needs the shield batteries. There's no way he can fight this without them. Zard's getting surrounded. They do take down that Nexus. And Here we go, Zest. Does he really want to commit in? He does have the +2 over 0-0 lead. Oh my god, though, hero's just walked in a bunch of DTs, and these DTs are starting to do quite some damage, although there is actually an observer. So the DTs are going to start running away. Archons are still on the map trying to find something, but they're going to get shut down now. Somehow hero's DTs are going to survive for the moment. I wonder if his plan is just to try and come in and snipe an observer and use DTs aggressively against the army, or if he is just going to be seeing what else he can do with those. Look to try and keep on harassing perhaps, or just morph them into Archons at some point if he doesn't feel he can get much more done. Minions just continue to gather together. Another couple of Archons coming up on the natural expansion, some Zealots coming forwards as well. Warpism is coming up over on the right hand side. This Oracle coming all the way around the left. And the hallucination from herO coming up in towards the third base. Phoenix of Zest still moving around too. herO retakes his expansion though. I mean, you can see he's just not really that bothered by it. Not that phased. He's like, okay, well, I'm just going to expand again. Zest is still just on 2 bases, and herO's seeing this has to start to wonder, like, why are you still on 2 bases? I mean, Zest is getting ready to re-expand as well, I guess, I suppose. Man, I mean, yeah, herO's still in an eco lead, right? But the upgrades are just so insane. I just wonder, as these 2 Archons go down, it's a nice pick-off from herO's point of view, but I just still wonder, especially as another upgrade comes in for Zest, can you fight this, even though, you know, now this incoming lead is only 10 workers, it's not like double the worker count like it was before. Is +2 or +3 enough to make this work? That's the question I leave you guys with. Is that enough to make this work for Zest? Against the lack of economy? Yeah, I think it is, honestly. It's not that much of a lack of economy anymore. I don't think herO has enough of an advantage to kind of overtake the +2 or +3 now. It is going to be +3 by the time an attack happens. He has started +1, so even if it's still just a 2 upgrade lead, what's the unit count like? Archon counts 8 to 7, 6 to 3 in favor of herO though, for Mortals. Double sentries, that's not a good start, but there is shield batteries, remember, and those shield batteries are absolutely crucial in a defense. And I love this, the Oracle's been waiting so long to come back and just do exactly this. The High Templar warps in though, and it only takes 1 High Templar to feed back that Oracle. And of course that Oracle is super high energy as well, so it will go down instantly. It actually leaves the Pulsar Beam activated, so it gets a little bit lower in energy, so it can't be one-shot by the feedback, I imagine. Red Nexus in trouble again. herO is going to be doing some damage. Zest is going to try and run back to defend this, but it might just be too late. I think the Zealots are going to be able to get enough done, and even as the Archons show up, yes, this Red Nexus will fall. It's a big pickup by herO. He even escapes with a few Zealots to keep on harassing. Well, at least try to the natural. I mean, it's not a bad attempt. Now you can just recall home. He's a little bit trapped, so okay, he will just recall. His own +1 attack upgrade has now just finished in Zest. Up 2 attack upgrades, but at this stage, we're looking as though herO might just have this, because he's still holding that eco lead, having killed the third Nexus again. 4 Immortals ahead, 2 Archons ahead. Let's see how this goes. A Guardian Shield will pop. I think Zest is dead. I think Zest is not really having much hope anymore. I mean, he's in this position now, Zest, where he is down. I guess the army is still the same size, but his army's a little bit worse in quality. Just by 4 mortals, though, it's not a massive amount. Prism into the main base. 2 of the mortals actually over here for herO. This is so frustrating to deal with, because now you've got to send so much to actually deal with that, and warp in so much to deal with this. It almost feels as though you're just at a disadvantage, even as the defender, because those immortals are just already dealing so much damage. They do so much. I mean, look at all these pylons being shut down. Gateways are going to be unpowered massively here. Phoenix will get rid of this warp prism, as herO is still just sat at the front. Doesn't feel the need to commit in just yet. The immortals are still going at these pylons. Zest is supply blocked, and herO will not commit in just yet. He's waiting for +2 attack now. And I mean, I think in fairness, the warp prism attack did enough for him to just say, okay, well, cool. You know, I'm still mining more than you. My third base has been finished for a lot longer. You know, let's just play it a little bit more slowly. +2's coming in for me. I'm slowing down, or I'm closing in on that upgrade lead that you have. You know, as long as he closes in that upgrade lead, it gets better and better for herO over time. He now takes a 4th base bottom left. Here comes this Oracle back in, by the way. This Oracle's got 20 kills throughout the game. And it's, again, very smart for it to have, you know, kept its Pulsar Beam on here and there, because when the High Templar did feedback it, it didn't get killed off. We actually missed the feedback, which happened a little while ago, I imagine, because it is lower health than before. But it didn't get fully killed because he left Pulsar Beam on to drain it of some energy, and again, that was almost definitely on purpose. Nicely done. We're just going to be seeing a DT, gonna pop on over the left-hand side and see what it can get up to. We see the Oracle down to the south. Archon's gathering up just behind this mineral line, and again a couple of Immortals are coming in as well. 3+2 on the upgrade still. If we look back to the unit tab, it's still 13 Archons apiece. These Archon counts are staying so similar. DT's warping in from herO. He is just warping in an Archon with the first ones though. Okay, there we go. There's DT over here starting to harass. Gets a few probes once again. Zest still down by 15 workers. It's just been so limited in economy all game long, and this DT picking up some kills as well. 5 kills on it at the moment. Well, here we go. The big fight starts up. There's just so many Archons already, I feel, from herO. And again, it's definitely better upgrades from Zest, but does that matter in this situation? I think the answer is a resounding no. herO has the concave. herO is just absolutely destroying this army. It's not even close in the end. Zest had moments in this game. He really had moments, but he wasn't able to make them work. GG. So if you're just watching, this will be going on YouTube, so if you're watching on YouTube and you're wondering what on earth just happened to Game 3, we didn't get an invite to it, so unfortunately Game 3 played without us, and we are now in Game number 4. Zest did take Game 3 after a Stargate versus Stargate opening, Phoenix on Phoenix, but then herO transitioned out into Archons, and Zest just sort of held on from there. It looked a little bit sketchy at times, there was a bit back and forth, but in the end Zest was able to make it work. And he was able to hold on. He had an upgrade lead. He had pretty much all the advantages going in. It was just one fight that he really had to focus on winning, and he was able to defend. So, with that said, we go into game number 4. As we have to the bottom right-hand side, our Red Protoss player still leading the series 2-1. It is herO. And to the top left-hand side, the Blues Protoss player is Zest. So it's the 4th game now, and on Neon Violet Square we'll look to see what these openers are going to look like, couple of gateways, etc. And we are going to be seeing what the tech choice is going to be. Obviously last game was Stargate versus Stargate, which means that going into this game now, you know, we look towards, you know, do they kind of play Stargates again? Does herO have a different response this time, considering he went into the ground? Again, I couldn't exactly see what kind of triggered herO into going into the ground-based response last time. But it isn't a very common thing. Did they miss one of the Chinese casters? Wow. See, I really think they shouldn't be letting the players host, because this keeps happening. They should let the Chinese casters host. And then we could host with GameHeart as well. It'd be awesome. That's funny. Now they lost one of the Chinese casters from the stream, and they can't tell them because the players didn't make anyone a referee. It's kind of funny. Well, it's not funny. It's awful. It's a bad situation. Hopefully, at least their streaming account is in, so they can maybe show the game. Just one of them can't cast. I don't know. Anyways, a couple Sentry and a Stalker coming up on each side at the moment. Suddenly the game's lagging. God damn it. Game got laggy again. Everything just wants to die at the end of the stream today, doesn't it? Everything was just going nicely and happily, and everyone was just going, you know, everything was just going fine. And now it's just like, yeah, let's just be laggy. Look at this. This is insane. So, wow. That's actually kind of crazy. That is actually my ping as well, though. My ping is just spiked massively. Don't know what it is, but again, on the Korean server since 2 or 3 patches ago, the connection has just been absolutely god-awful. It's been way worse than it used to be. We never used to have any sort of like lags or spikes on Korea. Obviously, this is really obviously like something that's just an issue now. And it's only in certain games, like, you know, if this goes to Game 5, it probably won't be an issue again. So it is just a little bit of frustration. It just happens every now and then on random games. Bit weird. Anyways, a Forge quickly from Zest this time around, so he's actually just going to focus on kind of ground-based upgrades. While in the meantime, herO will throw up the Twilight Council. So, Twilight Council coming into play right here. We're going to be seeing the Dark Shrine from here will drop down as well. And you see the Sentry sending a hallucination towards the upper left-hand side. And there's a couple of Stalkers coming back in towards the main base as well. So we're just going to be seeing the Dark Shrine coming up, and we're going to be seeing the +1 attack from Zest. It's two very different ways of playing. It is no detection at all though from Zest. Now, arguably you could get a cannon up. I actually think a cannon might be one of the worst forms of detection in the game against DTs. If you do, because what on earth, you know, you're not going to preemptively place cannons, right? Unless you see it for some reason. Just see a robo coming down. That robo is going to be hugely important because without that robo facility, I think you really would have entered some sort of trouble here. So robo is going to be about halfway done. Continuing along, Nexus from Zest will come down on the third base. He's going to take the inner third, and as herO will expand outwards here, so he's going to be taking this as well. Are the players experiencing the lag as well? No, it's just my connection to Korea. It doesn't affect the players, it's just me. It's really strange. It doesn't really make sense. I don't really have an explanation for it. It's just one of those things, unfortunately. Stalkers and Sentries here are going to be backing away just a little bit, and not really seeing that gateway getting cancelled. Was just kind of blocking off the Adepts from being able to shade in. Force fields actually missed, which is a bit of a shame. Shield barrier again. Devs will obviously cancel their shade, and well, herO just continuing along with the third base. Gee, oh my god, this lag is actually worse than usual. What is going on? I don't even know. Couple of Adepts going to hide away in the upper left corner, and we are going to see this last Adept going to go down as well, getting low. We're going to see the couple of Adepts still chasing it down. We'll get the kill there. So Adept falls. We're going to see the robo facility from herO currently on the way up. Zest actually has to kill the shield battery with G-Let finish rather than cancelling, so a small mistake there. He sets up a hallucination to try and see what is going on. So Zest does have the +1. Every game Zest just has this much faster Forge, and obviously this game is really amplified by the fact he opened with the Forge as his tech choice. So he's going to have these fast upgrades once again. +2 is already coming along here. And this +2 is already coming along. We do see the robo facility from herO. That'll be finishing up shortly. He's already got Twilight, so Charge coming along. Obviously the Dark Shrine. We haven't really seen anything from the Dark Shrine, right? Did he cancel the Dark Shrine? It must have been scouted because he's cancelled it. So yeah, in the end, seems as though just herO transitions out in towards Charge. Temple Archives comes down now as well. And yeah, this sort of stage, we're just kind of waiting for whatever is next. These two Adepts do end up committing in, and they find themselves a couple of probes at the very least, which is something. herO will take a small 7-worker lead. His own +1's going to be finishing soon, so he's going to be about an upgrade behind at any point in time, providing they both kind of keep up with the Chrono boosts, etc. Just going to be seeing some of these Adepts just moving in towards the upper left-hand side, and we are going to be seeing the few Stalkers, Sentries, a couple of Adepts, and Immortal. We're going to be able to get rid of both of those Adepts. So both Adepts getting taken down. Again, the +2 is going to be finishing very soon as well. 4 gates on the way up on each side of this at the moment. Adepts actually getting quite a lot done here. I didn't think he was going to get so much done with these two, but they actually bring us this to a 20-worker difference now. That really is quite something. So this was setting up somewhat aggressively over here. Maybe if the +2 finishing 40 could do something, but doesn't find a way to actually move forwards. War Prism now going to come down towards the south side, but decides to turn back away towards the right. Picks up an Immortal and a couple of Stalkers. So they are going to get lifted up, and they are going to be heading in towards the main base in the next few moments. Again, that 1 upgrade difference still kind of apparent here, but it's Zest making the aggressive moves, and I like this because I really think it is so difficult to deal with it when you get an Immortal in your base. Like, with the War Prism here as well, it's so difficult to clean up, and herO's just going to respond with a couple of Archons and a War Prism of his own, so he does end up pushing that away. Meanwhile, I mean, Zest with the rest of his army has just gone back home, and yeah, I mean, herO is just in this position where he still sort of leads in workers, in army count. Upgrades are the one thing he doesn't have on his side, but a significant army difference for such a long time is really quite something here. I mean, we're talking about like a 10+ army supply difference. The worker count is a little bit different as well, as we are going to be seeing the blink. So was that just blink starting and cancelled? Yeah, it was. The second robo comes up from herO. I think the blink would have been a weird thing to build into right now. I don't think that was intentional at all. Blink just doesn't really have much power at this later stage of a game. It doesn't really do anything, you know? It doesn't really add anything into play. We do see a Dark Shrine currently on the way up here from Zest. So that's coming through up on the main base, and well, we do just see again another Nexus coming down on the 4th. And herO looking pretty good right now. +3 will start, and obviously we're starting to get to that stage where finally Zest will no longer be at that upgrade lead, which he's kind of held all the way throughout this so far. We haven't really been able to take advantage of it at all, as again herO just coming in and has a few units to push that Warp Prism back. Meanwhile, a few Zealots running towards this base. The shield battery helps out keeping a couple of probes alive. It's a second Prism from Zest that's brought those Zealots along. But again, herO so far, good splits to make sure that he doesn't have too much damage dealt to him. Make sure he can just keep himself in a pretty decent position, as we're going to be seeing. Now +1 shields comes in. Zest will keep some form of an upgrade lead. I guess shields is very important when it comes down to the Archons especially. So it's still going to be a small advantage which Zest has in terms of upgrades. I don't think it's as significant as like the plus, as the attack upgrades though. Let's see both players now on a 4th base. So while Zest took this base earlier initially, he ends up with the, they both end up with the same bases now in the end. So it's all good in that regard. And 4 bases apiece, 71 to 62 probes. Still here with the larger worker count. Has just held that again all the way through the game. Just going to see an Immortal currently on the way up, and we're just going to be seeing a couple of Immortals on the way up from herO. He's just massing them at the moment. 2 at a time from the double robo on the natural expansion. 4 cannons currently coming on through, another couple of pylons being built up right down from Zest. Another Archon just being brought into play, and everything's still just gathering together a little bit. Neither of these players really making much happen just yet. Obviously we saw the Warp Prisms, but obviously herO defended pretty well, so Zest has kind of given up with that idea. Although there's another one of them coming down the south right-hand side now. Warp Prism from herO doesn't really have a lot of free supply to warp in with though. This could get awkward as herO starts to run into that army, realizes it's here now, backs away, but it's going to cost him maybe an Archon. And that spreads up into a bit of a better concave. He actually has the Guardian Shield coming through. Some Zealots will flank a couple of Archons as well, so a good start to this it feels from herO. He does have his upgrades there now also. The Warp Prism though is right here for Zest, and that's a big deal. And herO doesn't have detection to deal with the DTs. Oh yes he does, he's got an Observer overhead. So the DT warp in. It still does a lot though, doesn't it? It gets so much damage out. And that damage coming out, we're going to be seeing the Immortals lifting up into the Prism and backing away. And we are going to be seeing those Zards actually at the same time in the mineral line. Getting a little bit of something done. Just having the warp in on the front line there really made a huge difference. And the herO just didn't have this Warp Prism. Now he's in a little bit of trouble because so many Archons and Immortals survived this of Zest. And so Zest can keep on pushing in. And Zest keeps on pressing forwards. These Archons will keep on disappearing. They'll keep on dropping. As Archons keep on going down. This is going to be GG. Zest takes game. Otherwise, let's go in game. Top left, the red Protoss player is herO. From a 2-0 lead to a 2-2 scoreline. Let's see if he can wrap this one up on Abiogenesis. Get himself back into the game. Bottom right-hand side, this is our blue Protoss player, of course, Zest. People are like, how did he win that last fight? Well, I think Zest really was just... I think Zest was really in this position where he just had the shield upgrade, he was better positioned, he had the Warp Prism for the fight. I think the entire army, or the entire fight was just much better set up for Zest. I actually don't think it was a surprise to see Zest winning that engagement, to be honest. It was very much so an expected sort of outcome when herO didn't know that army was in the middle either, so he wasn't prepared for a fight, and he sort of took the fight because it was like, okay, well, I guess I fight now because I don't really have a choice other than, losing more damage. Duttles, sorry, I did miss your resub. I'm sorry, I apologize. 13-month resub from Duttles, guys. I mean, I just didn't even know who you are, so I didn't think it was worth shouting out, you know? What can I say? Thank you so much for the 13 months. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Alright, seems like you guys are kind of interested in some more games. So, yeah, okay, maybe we'll cast some of the replays after this as well. I mean, we've only been live 4.5 hours. If we cast all the replays, maybe we'll get 5.5 hour to 6 hour stream. That seems pretty good to me. And just as a heads up, remember guys that all of these games will be put into our replay pack and sent out to you guys by the end of today. So replay pack coming out today. Make sure you get yourself subscribed if you want to, well, if you want to make the most of it. It's going out to subscribers. Be available on our Discord as well. It has all the matches, well, not just the matches today, but also matches from the last couple of weeks. So there's loads of innovation games, rogue games, stats, solar, Zest. We've casted basically all the top Koreans recently. From all races, we've been casting Neve, we've been casting some of the top Europeans, Euthermal, Nurture, DNS, Petit Drogo. There's a whole bunch of players to check out. Clem, Raynor replays. They're all going to be available to subs today, so do get subscribed if you want to support the stream, and also if you want to get your hands on those replays. We're only 16 subs away from 400, which is super awesome. As you do see these couple of adepts going to shade after each other. And, yeah, just going to be seeing these probes gathering, getting a bit of a surround. And they are going to be able to deal a little bit of damage, so a couple of adepts going down. And, well, to kind of look to see where this game's gone, you can just see that Zest has gone towards the Blink play to open up with. And it's a robo facility from herO, and both of this is on one base for now because I think it's just abiogenesis. It's such a short rush distance. It is very risky to take the expansion before you have your tech really setting on up. Well, it's going to be seeing the 2 Stalkers and 2 Adepts here trying to fight, but herO has the 4 Stalkers, which in an actual fight are a lot better. Zest will have a pylon, 2 more Stalkers coming in, obviously looking to try and be aggressive with the Blink. We'll see if he actually adds on another gateway here as well. He does, so he's really going to build this up, while herO also builds up. I mean, 3 gates with the Robo on 1 base at the moment. herO's really committing in towards this at the moment. He's really going for it. Well, let's see what happens as we are going to be seeing the Immortal. Another one just being added in here, currently on the way out. Just going to see the pylon on this gateway to the top side. Obviously, that will be a lot of this production very soon. And hero's going to have 2 Immortals, though, to help defend against the Blink. He could even get a Prism, which kind of gives him his own kind of defensive Blink that he can use as well in some way. It's not as good as actual Blink, but it kind of does go a long way. Prism Micro can get so much done. It can be such a saving grace in the hands of players like herO and Zest. Prism Micro can completely turn games around from how they should go. So while Prism is on the way out, I mean, herO is just looking for this aggressive, like, this aggressive 2 Immortal push. Whereas at the same time, Stalkers now have Blink, but they're on the wrong side of the map to actually slow this down at all. So it's pure Blink Stalker versus Immortal Sentry Stalker. 1 base apiece. Just going to be seeing the units just going to keep on gathering together, and the Stalker takes a couple of shots. Another Stalker gets taken down as well, and we're just going to be seeing still Zest continue to come out in towards the center. Robo Facility on the way up from Zest here now. Hallucinated Phoenix coming down the right hand side as well. And Zest has that Blink, but is that going to be enough to keep him alive here? What is he building up? Does he have a shield battery? No. I mean, at the very least, does this not just become a bit of a soft contain out of herO with a force field to stop probes coming down? But then, I mean, there's Blink Stalkers, right? Zest realizes he's in a bit of trouble. He recalls back home. He's going to lose a pylon here, brings him towards a supply block as everything lags out. That's not good.
Game paused.
Everybody's lagging at the moment, it seems. It is SC Boy, one of the Chinese casters. He's going to tap out of the game. Unfortunately, our Chinese caster's not having a great moment or two. It looks as though we will resume this in the next couple of moments. Go is called, and herO will start it. So, $200 difference in this attack right now. The winner of this game takes home $300 instead of $100. The Snake Colossus will actually give him vision, I guess, right? Because it's got high ground, it acts as the air unit. So he's picking away at these forward gateways. That's actually very annoying already. I mean, 2 more gateways thrown down by Zest. If he loses those, that would be very annoying. I mean, he's losing them very slowly. still not something that's fun to lose. We're going to be seeing the Immortals trying to get in here. A couple of force fields coming down. Actually kills a Stalker and a Sentry there. Now one of the gateways is going to fall. Stalkers. There's actually a Sentry still available here as well from Zest, and that's the one big fear, I think, of herO right now. And he's just going to get this other gateway, though, and I mean, 2 gateways killed. Now Zest doesn't have any Warp Pins. He's trying to get his own Immortal on the way out. He's going to get the Warp Prism. That's huge. It's a really nice moment just there. Force Field as well. Now, of course, the Warp Prism can't be used to kind of counter those Force Fields. Very nicely done. Stalker's just going to be gathering together, and Zest will defend. Across the map, a couple of Adepts are working their way through the shield barrier that's walled off the entrance. herO's starting to pull back home. There's actually, I forgot there was one gateway up here as well, so actually that is one gate that did stay around. These Adepts are going to get shaded on. They are going to fall. Maybe he gets 1 probe kill. In fact, he will definitely get 1 probe kill. He might even get 2. Just in time, he gets the second one. herO, though, just has such a huge army supply advantage. We see Stalkers in the middle going to try and do something. They get themselves a Sentry. You can see the Stalkers coming back down to the south side. A couple more Adepts of Zest going to move in towards the upper left. And we do just have Stalkers blinking around, not able to really do too much here because those Immortals are just so powerful. But there is now Immortals from Zest, and I mean, now it comes down to army supply differences, and it is of herO's favor, but Zest has the blink, which is obviously a lot better. Okay, well, we're going to see Stalkers, Sentries, Immortals coming up the left-hand side. Going to be coming in towards the natural expansion, maybe up in towards the main. Couple Immortals lead from the charge, and we are going to be seeing the Warp Prism back in play from herO. Obviously means he can kind of avoid that. herO's actually down to 16 probes. His army supply is not as big of a difference as it used to be. Force Field is still available here. This is where herO can still use that Warp Prism micro to relocate the units even during the Force Field. That Immortal is so low. herO should be really feeling the dive on that. Man, this Warp Prism keeps sieging up so close to the edge of the main. That's how it died before. That's how it died before, and it could die again like that. It really could. He has to be so careful. More Force Fields coming down as Zest buys time. These guys are still 1 base apiece. 4 Adepts on this side of the map are suddenly going to start winning the fight from Zest as well, so he's going to do some economic damage too. Immortals fighting each other here, and Stalker's coming up the ramp, getting trapped once again. Has to use the Warp Prism to get this away now. herO is down to 16 probes yet again. Another few Adepts warping in, but all of these defensive warp-ins means they aren't warp-ins aggressively here at the front. Immortal's going to drop down on the high ground, and the Stalker's pulling forward as a dead Warp Prism, and that means the 2 Immortals are dead as well. Zest has held on. That's one hell of a hold from Zest, man. He was not looking good. He was looking in so much trouble, and now he comes out of this 9 workers ahead. He's just been sort of waiting and baiting for these fights again and again, as we are going to be seeing now. He finally gets it. He kills the Warp Prism. The 2 Immortals are stranded on the high ground. Boom. You know, it's just a few moments of success, and suddenly Zest is in a great spot. Now he's the player with Immortals and Blink Stalkers and a Warp Prism. There's nothing that herO has in his favor anymore. From a 2-0 lead, we might be seeing herO, unfortunately, not being able to close this one out and losing it 2-3 in the end. Going to be seeing another Sentry just warping in here right now from herO. A few Stalkers going to be coming in towards the upper left-hand side as well. Nexus going to be coming down in towards the natural expansion. So Zest will just begin to expand to begin with. We use the GC recall and deal with these Adepts nice and quickly. I guess may as well. 50 energy better spend saving a couple more probes than it is on just Chrono Boost. Now another probe. herO was so committed to this attack, and in the end, again, it just didn't quite work for him, and now Zest is expanding, right? And so herO has to expand too. Even if he expands now, he's a little bit further behind. At least those Adepts did even up the work count a little bit. 19-16 now. This would be Zest's 2nd Kung Fu Cup victory. In terms of the Kung Fu Cup weeklies, that would be $600 banked for him in the last couple of weeks, just through this online event. Some good money for these guys who obviously get good practice playing against good players. It's a great tournament. It's been very, very fun for us to cast the last few weeks. Stalkers with Blink coming across the map. They're actually going to find reinforcements here, and suddenly, well, I guess actually Zest has got recall on cooldown, so these Stalkers are not going to be able to be back home to defend. And that's why Zest probably goes up in towards the main base. Because he probably just realizes, okay, this might turn into a bit of a weird base ready scenario, in which case I do not hold the low ground, I hold the high ground. If he holds the high ground here, he should be fine, because he is going to deny all mining back at home, and so herO can't build anything else himself. Looks as though Zest is going to try and kill this Nexus before it gets the energy to recall. So this army definitely has to stay on this side of the map rather than anything else. Fortunately, Hallucinated Colossus will not pop that force field. Another hallucination coming down here, and again those units just spreading out, another force field dropping. Nexus will fall. This is herO. With this all-in attack, trying to make something happen with the Warp Prism, but it just doesn't seem to be enough. Zest. His army supply is obviously a little bit down on this side of the map, but again, he just has to sit defensively. He has shield batteries as well. herO. He doesn't have a base. Those Stalks are on their way back home too, so that will help out a little bit. His force field, Zest will lose some units, but remember, over time here, Zest is warping in. herO is not warping in. We are going to be seeing another force field once again, and here he goes, Stalkers blinking forwards, and he is just going to get the Warp Prism, takes away a lot of the micro potential there. Force fields all over the place from both of these players, and Zest actually loses quite a few of his Stalkers there. He will lose the Warp Prism as well, but now he's able to move down the ramp, but did he want to? Again, he doesn't need to. It's herO that has to force the issue. He's the one that has to take the worst fight here. He starts a new Warp Prism out of his Robo. It's probably the best thing he can build, because it's the one thing that gives him maybe the micro potential to win a game. I mean, more so than anything else, but he actually just types out GG, and that is going to be Zest taking the series 3-2. Reverse sweep from the 0-2 deficit